Hi guys, I just wanted to say thanks first of all to everyone for your support so far. And I want to give you just a quick overview of what this system does and what we're trying to achieve in the pilot. So I've built this interface over the last year. This has been a 3-year project, trying to find out what's happening with the inclusive classroom. I ran a project over the last year to take the most difficult, let's say, students from the public schools and to run a project to see how we can adapt materials to suit their needs. So this one is designed for the Irish primary school system. I'll just scroll down through this. You can pause and look at the settings if you like. What it's going to generate is an interactive pack for the teachers to display, a social thread, which looks a little bit like a WhatsApp conversation, and printables for the students. The ones I've been testing are just a standard one and an adapted one, but here I'm going to show you many more options. So this is an example of the printable for the Student A standard route. So it will generate the article. I've made this one a little bit longer than it should be for 6th class in primary school. And here they get their questions. So the printout is ready. The adapted one is the same topic. The sentences are a little bit shorter, but they're not simplified. This is to help people with ADHD, with dyslexia. I'll just scroll down through this. We can adjust the text size, the separation of the words, the separation of the lines, and what they'll have at the end. I've clicked word help there. So the text of the questions and the text of the answers might be slightly different, but the answers are the same for the teacher. So it means the teacher can just run off one bunch of materials and all of the students will be able to access it. This is a sample I've done for, let's say, a new arrival who's come from another country. I've chosen French as the language here. All of this will come out at the same time. So they have various supports available to them. These are experimental at the moment. This is a visual choice. It's designed for Down syndrome students. So there are 7 different types of adaptations that can be made here. Again, these are all the same questions that are coming up in the class for everybody. It's just making the document easier for the student to access the materials. This one again is for Down syndrome, but it's for oral language routes, so they don't have to write anything. They can point, they can answer. There's documents for their, if they've got somebody supporting them, for them to fill out here at the bottom. The formatting isn't great here because I've converted them to PDFs. This one I've put as an extreme case, so it would be just someone just to recognize a word, to be able to point and to be able to show that they can understand. Okay, the main 2 things that, apart from all of that, so here's an example of the teacher display. So the teacher here can see the standard text, they can see the supported text, they can put on bionic script for dyslexia. This could also be a home version. We can look at the text in one at a time, one paragraph at a time. We can add a reading guide. CamView will remove all of those settings. We can adjust all the spaces. This is text to voice. I'll leave it on Sean for Ireland. And you can turn it into a, say, a listing material. I'll leave karaoke on. And
Servilingual began as a language teaching project in Andalusia. It was guided by one belief: education should adapt to people. Work with students, teachers and families showed that confidence.
Now I'm just going to stop that for one moment. If you don't know what Andalusia is, here you can go into the word lab. I've programmed in a lot of things that will just make it easier to bring attention to what they're supposed to be looking at.
Andalusia. Andalucia.
Then you have word labs here. this is going to bring up the images, which is huge dyslexia, so they can see, if it's vocab. And then they've got their questions at the bottom. Sorry, just on here. You've got images, then you can break down the words, plot the syllables, you can store the words here. You can see the etymology, synonyms, rhymes. What is Aontas trying to help a class do? Learn together. And students love this. I've already ran through it here. It breaks it down into a social media chat. So I leave that on Sean, the Irish accent. Let's go to the United States accent.
Servilingual began with one belief. Education should adapt to people.
Let me reset that. It should look like proper social media chat. So this one is our standard view.
Servilingual began with a simple belief. Education should adapt to people, rather than expecting every person to fit one system.
Its work in Andalusia showed that confidence, health, language, memory, attention and emotional well-being can all affect learning.
Here we've got our keywords, so you can just tap on a word and it'll tell you what it means. Here we have unity, well-being, shared code, supported route, access route, teacher well-being, home language, crowdfunding. So the goal of all of this, guys, is to get it into public school. I've been using it, I've been testing it, seeing what the kids like in the classrooms. I've also built a games lab, which will be auto-generated out of this. This is to save on teachers making word walls. I've developed a number of brain training games that will also help students with dyslexia and ADHD, helping them on focusing, developing vocabulary, sounds, and the shapes of words. So when I call this the wordiness lab, because they're looking at the sounds, shapes, structures, this will automatically pull the information from the system. So there's no necessity for a teacher to be programming a load of extra activities. Now let me, you can go to filters, just to give you a quick idea of all of the things that you can work on now. So skills, the games develop attention, confidence, there's connectors, sentence structures, dyslexia, executive function to help to break down tasks, flexibility, fluency, grammar, spelling, morphology, phonics, phrasing, planning, and then there's a lot of on the sounds and the shapes of words, sentence, stress, syllable stress, visually tracking on the screen, picking out words and working on their speed and accuracy. So I'm going to stop the video there. Thanks a million for your help. I wish I could make these videos shorter, but there's an enormous amount of information to communicate. So thank you for your time, and I'll post more on the individual functions that the system does. I've programmed other curriculum activities apart from English over the weekend, and there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to be generating contents for when French starts in September. Thanks, guys.